Hello, I'm Harry Smith III. I'd like you to know a little bit about my life. Now that you know the ancestors of the Smith and Ashley family from Africa to slavery though Jim Crow and civil rights to 2023. That was in the age of Pisces. We are in a new age today. Today we're in the age of Aquarius, the age of information, and in this age you will become the kings and queens that we once were. Before, but you know, what we had to do to get here, now. Now you know what we went through, because if anybody had not made it, you would not be here. So you have it in you, to survive. Today you can be anything that you want to be. Now is the time for you to be the king and queens that we once were. In the next few segments I'm going to explain to you and show you pictures of things that my life story is going to mention so you can see kind of what I was talking about. This is New York's Old Village Gate in Greenwich Village, New York, where I had drinks with Lou Rawls and Dizzy Gillespie. Google them. When I invited them to my table at the intermission of their show. This is what New York clam chowder look like. New England clam chowder is white. This is the Muslim restaurant that I went to in Chicago, where I had the most fantastic meal that perhaps I've ever had. And was treated better than at any restaurant I've ever been to before. This is inside that restaurant in Chicago. This is New York City, where everybody lives in an apartment. This is Seekonk, Massachusetts, where we used to stay at the Hearthstone Motor Inn all the time. Right outside of Providence, Rhode Island, where Mr. Alcon's son was attending Brown University. This is the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is in the Wisconsin Dells, where they had a replica of Sherwood Forest. If you remember your history, that's where the character Robin Hood used to hang out. This shows that Lake Michigan is one of the Great Lakes and the different states that it touches, or that touches it. This is the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C., where all the black folks used to go to watch the old great rock and roll blues and jazz Miles Davis or B.B. King shows. It was part of the Chitterling circuit, like the Apollo. All the great acts went there. We used to go and watch the great shows. Ike and Tina Turner, the Supremes, the Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Little, Stevie Wonder, everybody. Philadelphia had the Uptown, New York had the Apollo, Washington, D.C. had the Howard Theater. Chicago had the Regal. All the big cities had great auditoriums where all the blacks could go and watch all the great black shows. This is like the Hereford cow that I raised and took to the fair that the white guy John from Woodcrest Farms Produce and Meat Market gave me to raise. I like to say thank you to him and his family. I'll never forget you. This is Plymouth Rock in Plymouth, Massachusetts, the rock that the Pilgrims stepped on when they was getting off the ship the Mayflower, when they came to the new country America. This is my daughter, Charlene, Deborah, and I with President Reagan when we went to Washington, D.C. That's a cardboard cutout of President Reagan, in front of the White House. That we took a picture with. Notice, it's in black and white. This is George Washington, our first president's house. In Mount Vernon, Virginia. If you look close you can see my daughter Charlene standing next to the pole, standing up. This is John Fitzgerald Kennedy and his wife Jacqueline at their Hyannis Port, Massachusetts, summer home. The family compound. This is my 1969 Pontiac Grand Prix that I drove cross-country. I drove it from Pennsylvania to California and from California to Massachusetts all